Perfect. So basically, we invite you to use the chat during the webinar if you have any question or comments, or you can also raise your hand. And there will be also time for question and answer at the end of this session. Just a quick overview of the agenda of today's webinar. So there will be a brief presentation from Jan of the CCRI Coordination Support Office on this initiative. Then I will leave the floor to our coordination, Mireia, that will explain about our project, the CCRI Knowledge Hub. The next speaker will be Ana Crespo-Cortez from CETEC, that will showcase the work of the analysis of circular economy projects and initiative and the marketplace of technologies. And then we have Andrea Corrigi from the CCRI Thematic Working Group of bioeconomy. Then there will be a final wrap-up and, as I said before, a final session of questions and answers. So let's begin with the introduction from Jan from the CCRI-CSO. And Jan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will share my screen so that you can see the slides. Hope it will work. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I will give an introduction to the CCRI. I hope I won't bore those that know the initiative already quite well. But we have come up with some new slides, hopefully also for those that already know it. So give me 1 second. It seems to be moving automatically. Stop sharing for a moment. Okay. Just for that. Okay. So I want to start with the new Commission political guidelines because, as many probably will know, that the circular economy is one of the priorities of the new Commission, and it's you can see it reflected in two parts of the guidelines. One it's linked to competitiveness, and those that have attended the Green Week, the Green Week stakeholder event between the CCRI and the ECSP. The word competitiveness has been raised a lot, and then also regarding the sustaining our quality of life, the new Circular Economy Act and the updated bioeconomy strategy, as well as the Clean Industrial Deal and some other legislative initiatives. They're all linked to what the CCRI does as a initiative led by the led and set up by the European Commission by DG Research and Innovation. Those that do not know the CCRI is an innovative collaboration support scheme of the European Commission. It was part and launched after along with the EU Circular Economy Action Plan 2020 and contributing to the policy objectives of the Green Deal and the bioeconomy strategy. It is supported by the EU's Research and Innovation Funding Program, both Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe, and the main aim is to support the implementation of circular systemic solutions in European cities and regions, as well as the development of new circular business and governance models. Why the CCRI is unique is because it's not just another EU initiative, but an experimental scheme using the traditional research and innovation funding in a less traditional way to support societal innovation. We are connecting a network of knowledge and support providers. It's a growing community There's also a slide later on this. There's over 140 supported cities and regions. There's a systemic approach and a solution focus to the CCRI, to not just look at partial solutions, but really the systemic solutions that are tailored to the local context, and cover various sectors and value chains. And lastly, the CCRI scheme is a comprehensive support package combining technical and financial support to cities and regions in the circular transition. This scheme I won't spend too much time on, but you can see that the cities and regions are really at the core of the initiative. And then there's several partners. Part of the initiative, we have CCRI projects funded by Horizon 2020, Horizon Europe, the CCRI office, which is made out of the CCRI Coordination Support Office, and also the CCRI Knowledge Hub and the CCRI Community of Practice. There's associated partners that the CCRI works with closely on all these different aspects that are shown here on technical support, knowledge gathering and dissemination of knowledge and of information. And lastly, the financial support of the initiative comes from the European Commission. Here you can see a quick overview of what the CCRI office, how the CCRI office is composed. On the one hand, the CCRI Coordination and Support Office, acting as the main facilitator and coordinator of the CCRI activities. We have the CCRI Knowledge Hub, about which Mireia will talk you more about. So I won't spend too much time, as she will talk. She will do it a lot better in any case. And then there's also the CCRI Communities of Practice that focus on community building and peer learning, bringing together cities and regions practitioners in focus groups, discussions, communities of practice, and also a twinning program, which currently has a call open and which will actually close tomorrow. Here you can, so on the CCRI website, there's a CCRI map where you can see a large number of cities and regions that are involved in the initiative, either by being a pilot or a fellow of the CCRI, or supported, for instance, by a CCRI project. Talking about CCRI projects, there's over 30 Horizon-funded projects targeting a large number of sectors and value chains. And there's two main types of projects. One is demonstration projects that work on demonstrating circular systemic solutions in pilots in all over Europe, and PDAs that work on advisory services for the investment readiness of circular projects. Here you can see a list of our associate partners and initiatives, in particular to highlight the strategic partners from the European Investment Bank and the OECD, who are also supporting cities and regions across Europe. The OECD has supported a number of fellows, and they have earlier this year they have published a number of reports on CCRI fellows, and then the Circular City Center. I will go in more detail in my next slide, because there is support available from the Circular City Center of large projects. They offer dedicated expert-driven advisory services, supporting cities or region project promoters, and importantly, they expect strong engagement. There's also a scheme of Green Assist that is looking at mid-sized projects to provide advisory services to bring them to the market and work together on an investment. Here you can see a bit basically what the CCRI has to offer for different cities and regions, depending on where they are or what they're interested in. There's the exploration, the twinning program, communities of practice, thematic working groups, the assessment, where also the mentoring program of the CCRI Knowledge Hub and the circular economy scans of the OECD are located, the piloting and experimenting in the pilot support program and the circular city advisory of the European Investment Bank. And then finally, the development and the financing, where we have Green Assist, Circular Project Advisory of the European Investment Bank Circular City Center, and project development assistance projects funded under Horizon, also they're located there. This is the CCRI Compass, where you can see, depending on what you're interested in as a city or region, what the CCRI can offer in terms of knowledge exchange and support. It's linked very much to what I've already been presenting, and there, in short and in a systematic way, you can find this information on these different aspects. Regarding some success stories, or I won't go too much into detail into each and any one of those, but what you can see on this and the following slide is that the CCRI is covering many sectors and also cross-sectoral solutions. On this slide, you can see some focusing on the bioeconomy, others focusing on construction, and others focus on really cross-cutting aspects in the circular economy. Here you have additional slides where you can see, okay, there's more on bioeconomy. There's links to the climate and the energy plan, so links with other aspects of sustainability. Also on the website, you can find success stories from CCRI projects. If you're interested more in what the CCRI projects are doing, and with that, I'm at the end of my time to present you just a few aspects of the initiative.
Thanks, Jan. It was very interesting to have a clear idea of the Circular Cities and Regions initiative. Again, for the audience, if you have any question, please use the chat, and then we will address this question at the end of this session. And now I will leave the floor to Mireia for the presentation on our project, the CCRI Knowledge Hub.
Thank you, Denise. I'm going to focus also in the CCRI Knowledge Hub, as Jan has provided us an overview of the whole CCRI. So I'm going directly to the point. So the CCRI Knowledge Hub has the aim to expand the knowledge on circular economy, creating new concepts, but also trying to systematize all the knowledge that has been already created around circular economy. And our goal is to provide this knowledge in an easy and friendly way to cities and regions that want to move forward in their way to circularity. But also in that sense, we offer capacity building activities, so workshops in person and online, and also some mentoring programs that are running right now. And we will launch very soon a new call that I'm going to give you some details at the end of my presentation. And our target, as I advance it to you, it's cities and regions that want to advance in their circularity, but those that are in their early stages. So what we provide to cities and regions. So the Knowledge Hub has published, and my colleague Ana Crespo will go in deep to these different resources that we have created during the first period of our project. these are a marketplace for enabled technology, so a catalog when you can find different technologies that support the way to circular economy, but also we have systematized some knowledge, tools, methods, and also we have identified 40 good practices, yes, to let you know which things have been successful for other regions and cities, and we are extracting from them some lessons learned for you to also to support you in that way. And in the main wall, we are providing this support to cities and regions, and for that we first develop a diagnostic with them in order to understand which are their needs and which are their willingness to focus on one or two or three or four topics, and also to identify experts that can support them in their way. And according to that, we deliver this mentoring, one-to-one mentoring and capacity building activities. And right now that we have content and we are creating this knowledge and we are collecting these lessons learned, we are working in policy recommendations that will be delivered at the end of the project. And these are some examples of the resources that we have developed that I'm going not to go in depth to them because Anna will present it to you. And these are the regions, the 9 cities and regions that we have supported right now. And with all of them, we have developed this diagnostic tool in order to understand their needs and desires in their way to circular economy. We have developed some workshops tailored to their needs in order also to promote peer learning and networking between more advanced and less advanced cities and regions. And also they are right now receiving this one-to-one mentoring program with experts that allow them to advance in their way to circularity. And we are planning a new call for cities and regions, and we are right now fine-tuning all the materials that we need to launch this call. And also we will organize end of July a webinar to explain this new call. So yes, if you are interested to participate in this new call to advance to this circularity, and you are a city and region that want to participate in this mentoring program, yes, stay tuned to the CCRI website, but also to the social media and newsletter. And also I give you here our direct email, just for you to have it in case you want to write us or just ask any of your doubts. But anyway, as Denise said, we will be here at the end to respond to your questions. And that's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Mireia, for this general idea on our project. And now we will go more into details of the work that we have carried out so far with Ana Crespo Cortez from CETEC. She will explain the analysis that we have carried out in terms of circular economy and initiatives and projects, and then the marketplace of technologies that already Mireia mentioned. So Ana, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen, so please tell me if you can see it.
We can see it, but not in a presentation mode.
Just let me 1 second.
Yeah.
I think it should be okay now.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Denise. Okay, well, sorry for this slide. First of all, I would like to present where I work. I work at CETEC, as Denise has said before, which is one partner in charge of the technical part of the CCRI-KH projects. And what is CETEC? CETEC is a technological institute promoted by the shoe manufacturing and plastic transformation, as well as by the regional administration and industries. CETEC operates as a non-profit organization whose goal is to perform research and development activities to generate scientific and technological knowledge. CETEC is made up about 70 companies and is a meeting point for the development of research and development projects. Information research, assistance to the obtaining of public fundings for the realization of projects, service of documentation and regulation, and other aspects. At CETEC are working 28 qualified technicians. For example, we are doctors, graduates, and engineers, among others.
I think you have muted yourself, Anna.
Thank you, Denise. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. The main activity of CETEC, as I just said, is to develop a research and development project and technology transfer to companies. We cover all phases of the project, project preparation, project management, and technical and economic justification of them. We carry out a laboratory test for the footwear and plastic industry, and we have our own laboratory and also a pilot plant. Related to the CCRI project, we have to do at the first part and following the task set out in the DOA. The first thing that we have to do was to collect information on data and European funded and national projects and initiatives related to circular economy and circular transitions in cities and regions from several resources. For this purpose, an intensive search for projects was carried out during the first 3 months, using some resources as the CCRI, where 83 projects were located, or Cordis web with Invesplora tool that helped us to locate 1,700 resources were selected as possible candidates. The assistance received by the Invesplora tool has been an important pillar in attracting essential resources in this first part. This tool was used by our partner Invenia, which participates in this project as a business model expert. A total of 1,836 resources were found that could be related to the circular economy and could be useful for the development of the databases. In addition to this first research, each partner proposed thematically related projects at a national and regional level. After a first analysis of all of this information and taking into account the KPIs from the DOA, a list of 120 projects and 44 initiatives was drawn up. This list was submitted to the CCRI for feedback, and after incorporating their comments, the final selection included 154 projects and initiatives, which were distributed equally among the partners for its analysis. For the first analysis, a gathering information document was developed, where different essential fields of each of the projects were collected. This document contains basic information about the project, such as name, start and end date, summary, relationship with circular economy, challenges highlighted or solutions carried out, among others fields. All this information was collected into 2 documents, an Excel file following the structure of the CCRI website, and a PDF document with the fields not supported by the CCRI but analyzed by partners called More Information. Here I have some examples, and if I can show you how is the database. Can you see my Excel?
No.
No? Okay, just let me 1 second. just to show you how is it. Now I think that you can see my screen. Okay, here we have some fields that we have to complete, and you can see all the database that we have been working on it during these months. We have the name of the project, the status, dates, as I commented before, a short description, actions to overcome identified challenges, stakeholders involved, and we have lots of resources. In addition, we also have the more information document, as I said you before, that I also want to show you how it seems to be. Okay. For example, here we have the Circular Lab project, and we selected more information that we cannot upload in the CCRI website because these gaps are not contemplated in this section. So we have recovered more information of all the projects that we have analyzed. Okay, sorry for the changes in the here. Okay. Okay. After a first analysis of all of this information and taking into account all the KPIs from the DOA, a final list of these projects was recovered into 126 projects. And once the gathering information documents were completed, Caveloce and CETEC divided the work to check that all the information was consistent with the thematic. In addition, the style of the information was reviewed and the document was formatted. Caveloce and CETEC also do the more information document that I show you with the Circular Lab project, and this first part was finished. Okay, in this first analyzing, we also rely on the Invexplora tool to fill some fields. As described in the task methodology, in order to perform the analysis of the project and initiatives and selected the good practices or the less successful cases to be analyzed in depth, partners complete the PAFs. PAFs, which are Project Analysis Fact Sheet, were a document divided into two sections. One of them was used to collect more information for the project, and the second section was used as a scoring system. The information collected on PAFs was used in a complementary way to the gathering information documents in order to be useful for the following complementary tasks that I will explain in a few minutes. The scoring part evaluated the criteria established in each of the 4 pillars of CCRI. In order to make a correct analysis of each of them, the reference partner was used to propose several base scoring categories. For example, CETEC, as an expert in innovation and technology, proposed the evaluation of these 3 categories: the key enabling technologies, number of R strategies addressed, and the technology readiness level, tier L, which corresponds to the level of technological maturity used by the European Commission in research and development programs. In order to be able to collect information in the PAFs and to be able to correctly carry out the scoring system, training was given also to partners. Here I also have an example of a PAF, and I'm going to show you. Okay. Here we have the first section where we collect more information about this project in particular, color cycle. And here we have the second section with all the scoring system. To not get confused by all the partners, here we have some explanation about how to use this document. In order to complement, finally, once we have all the information, an interview protocol was developed to allow partners, if needed, to collect qualitative in-depth insights from selected project and initiative. This protocol aimed to fill information gaps, validate initial findings, and obtain first-hand reflections on the implementation and outcomes of circular economy projects initiatives in diverse territorial contexts. Finally, interviews were not done because all the information was available in websites. Analysis of the circular economy projects and identification of good practices was the continuation of this previous step. In this task, requires conducting an in-depth analysis of the projects and initiatives identified. The starting point were the scores obtained from the past, where projects were sorted in descending order to select the 40 best scores as good practices and the 20 worst as less successful cases. After performing the scoring, some projects scored 0 in one of the dimensions due to lack of information. CETEC estimated the possible scores in these gaps and saw the possibility that these projects could be entered as good practices. So the projects with this possibility of entry in this category were added to this first distribution. The 60 projects initiatives were distributed according to the know-how of each partner. And also a number of replacement projects were added to this database in case, when analyzed more intensively, insufficient information was found to qualify as good practices. The analysis of the projects was carried out using a template that compiled with the CCRI's requirements. As with the gathered information, the project's analyses were reviewed by Kabeloff and CETEC to ensure that they compiled with the proposed subject matter. In addition, the style of the information was reviewed. All this information is collected in a deliverable that was delivered on time, and in the DOA, the KPIs indicated for this deliverable are to have at least 150 circular economy projects, showcase at least of 40 circular economy good practices, and showcase at least 20 less successful practices. From all this analysis of the projects done by one, and I just said you before, it became clear that some of those included in the list were not projects or initiatives or were not directly related to the circular economy. For that reason, and following the criteria of quality versus quantity, a total of 126 projects and initiatives were presented as part of the project analysis and database, as well as the 40 good practices and 20 less successful practices. From the analysis of good practices, some initial comments we can share are that there are some common points. For example, that they have encouraged the multi-stakeholder participation. Also, a wide range of innovation is presented: technological, methodological, and social. All projects include activities focused on training, awareness raising, and knowledge transfer as key elements for implementation and replicability, and they also promote the promotion of public and private collaboration. But we are working on doing a deep analysis on it. While working on this intensive project analysis, the identification of further user-friendly circular economy resources was also carried out in parallel to complete the resource base available on the CCRI website. This task involves researching and evaluating user-friendly already available resources, tools and materials, including the identification of relevant synergetic local policy plans related to the circular economy at European level. The research will identify existing tools, their characteristics, and potential for use by individuals, business, and governments. The evaluation should assess the relevance and effectiveness of the tools and materials, as well as their potential for scaling up within the European. These elements were classified according to their nature, function, and practical application, using the categories established by the CCRI website as a reference. Here I have a photograph of the website, and if you link in the knowledge field, you can see where the information is going to be collected. To be more specific, the CCRI KH project are working on resources to papers and reports, tools and methods, synergetic local policy plans, and webinars, e-learnings, and videos categories. This classification not only enables more effective systematization of information, but also facilitates its direct integration from the CCRI Knowledge Hub into the CCRI Knowledge Repository, and its subsequent use in the mentoring and training activities, as my partner said before. To start with this task, a total of 154 resources were analyzed, 118 provided by the CCRI-CSO and 36 by the projects. The KPIs that we have to achieve in this category is to find more than 100 papers and reports, 50 tools and methods, 50 synergetic local policy plans, and more than 35 webinars, e-learning, and videos. Identify the resources. To date, we'll have to pass a relevance and usefulness check in compliance with pre-established criteria prior to be put at disposal for stakeholders. This database and its analysis will be further developed in another work package of the project. The next task is the identification and analysis of cross-sectorial and sectorial enabling technologies to complement the information collected in the previous task. This research was carried out to compile and analyze the potential of cross-sectorial and sectorial enabling technologies as circular economy promoters in cities, regions, and industrial sectors. First, focused on a non-sectorial approach, a compilation of these technologies that can leverage circularity in cities and regions will be carried out. It will be analyzed the impact of their application, shedding light in the positive impacts in terms, for example, of reduced consumption of primary raw materials, circular use rates, reduction of greenhouse emissions, creation of jobs, among other activities. Similarly, but focusing in the sectors related with the key product value chain, those sectorial enabling technology will be identified and analyzed. Also considering industrial symbiosis and cascading use approaches, which can contribute to the circular potential of this sector. To sum up, the objective is to build a structured catalog of technological solutions capable of driving circularity across urban and regional systems in a practical way adapted to their local context. The last task carried out focuses on the identification and analysis of technologies, both cross-sectorial and sector-specific, that can support the circular transition in cities and regions. These technologies are known as enabling technologies and can be either cross-cutting or sectoral. The cross-cutting are applicable to several sectors, such as water, energy, or mobility, and sectoral are more specific to key sectors, such as textile, construction, plastics, food. These technologies have been mapped, categorized, and linked to key product value chain, identified in the European Circular Economy Action Plan, such as plastics, textiles, construction and buildings, food, water and nutrients, and electronics and ICT. The methodology included several stages. The first one was a desk research to collect existing technological data. For this purpose, a study of public documents and resources was carried out to collect information on existing technologies. Data from previous studies, European project, industrial strategy, and European policy documents were combined. The second step was about a criteria, and specific criteria were used to ensure that the selected technologies are relevant, applicable, and adaptable to different territories. A classification framework covering 6 vertical areas: 5 of them you can see here, defined according to technological areas aligned with city and region management, and one defined based on their application to the sectoral key product value chain identified in the Circular Economy Action Plan, and one horizontal area for key enabling technologies, aligned with the European green and digital transition. For each technology, aspects were detailed such as ID and description of each technology, level of maturity, implementation timeframe, associated stakeholders and SDG, potential use case and barriers, and policy and funding considerations. A technology marketplace was created that functions as a digital catalog. Here you can consult technologies used by sector or cross-cutting application with concrete examples of how they can be used, what benefits they have, what barriers may arise, and how to finance them. These structured database and marketplace are also integrated into the CCRI Knowledge Hub, where they will serve as practical tools to help local and regional actors adopt innovative technologies and implement circular systemic solutions. The results of these 3 tasks is shown in another deliverable, which is called Resources Compilation to support a successful transition to a circular economy in cities and regions, folder with materials, tools, and resources. All this information will nurture the mentoring and capacity building being iteratively developed meanwhile the project advances. All knowledge collected will be used as reference material facilitating mentoring and capacity building. All material will be compiled into an online platform that will be integrated either to an existing platform from our partner Invenian or the CCRI's platform through an API. All this information is carried out by all the partners, and the leadership is CETEC. So this is the reason that I explain all this information. I think that I talk a little bit fast, so perhaps the time is, well, we can move to another task if you want, or if you have any doubt.
Thank you, Anna. Yes, this was huge work. And if the audience has questions, we can raise their hands or put it in the chat. And I will move on to the next speaker with Andrea from the CCRI Thematic Working Group of Bioeconomy.
Yeah, thanks. Let me share. Yeah, can you share the slide, or I should do it? Thanks, Sam. Many thanks. No, thank you for the invitation. And indeed, I'm working with Jan and CCRI-CSO project manager, but also leading this work with another colleague, Bas, on one of the thematic working groups. So what I can present basically is really a little bit the experience that we have with these thematic working groups. They are normally considered one of the typology that we have. Let me see if also I can share that. Give me 1 second, because we have some problem with Teams. I can do it, no worries. Okay. So sorry for presenting. I did it the safest way that I can. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, just a little bit medieval way to present it, but let me go to the point. So I was talking about this. We have 3 typology in the CCRI, not only in the coordination support office of support that we can provide is well explained, and I would say clearly classified in what we call normally in the Compass. Compass, why we call this instrument Compass, there is a web page for it. The idea is just to navigate the project promoter or policymaker anyway, public or private, towards the knowledge exchange and support services that we provide with the CCRI. I try to explain a little bit better. Knowledge, basically also some of of course, you're here as Knowledge Hub. That's, let's say, thought advisory, especially knowledge on, as you can see here, on inspiring stories, tools, guidance. So it's a way to really inform and share information, concrete information, useful information with the policy project officer or project promoter to say, look, if you want to assess your implementation of the project, there is a self-assessment tool, several e-learning module. This one that we are going to update together with the European Investment Bank quite soon, Circular City Funding Guide, to see how to finance your project. That's a category of support. The other category that I'm focused on now is exchange. What we mean, basically pre-learning, networking. And then the other one is support, basically tailor or group support to really help to increase the maturity from the technical, financial, juridical point of view of a project. There are several advisory facilities. I quoted just a couple of them: Green Assist, the European Circular City Center, also several project development assistants. That's really to help a project promoter to corroborate their idea, to increase the maturity of the project and facilitate the bankability, therefore investment. So now, as I said, I'm going to focus on this one, and I think is a quite powerful tool that we have. It's 3 years that we are using in the Coordination Support Office. And here, the basic idea is just having all the CCRI stakeholders, pilot, region, cities, whatever, but also including the CCRI project, that considering that everyone in the CCRI is working to implement the circular economy project, here is a way to grouping them, having them together 3 times per year, and address together some, again, knowledge or exchange of information. And that's what we call the CCRI Thematic Working Groups. We have 4 of them. One is on the circular construction and buildings, and is led by our colleague Tuce. And then there is another one on, buildings is from Martin and Clara, circular resources from Tuce, circular bioeconomy is Bas and myself, and then industrial symbiosis. How they work and how we ended up with this 4 thematic working group, that again is 3 years that we are working with. We set up from the beginning a very clear survey to pilots, fellows, and the projects also to say, okay, what are you interested in? What is your sector and thematic that you really want to address? You need knowledge about, you need to exchange experience about. So we identified these, as you can see, the slide before, are quite broad areas, right? Bioeconomy is huge, circular bin is a little bit more specific, circular resources even bigger. So we identify these fil rouge, these common areas of interest, and then we set up this workshop, this thematic working group. We have, as I said, 3 workshops per year, so it's not a lot, but we are trying also to work between workshop 1 and workshop 2. 2 are online, 1 is in person. Who is participating again is our pilot city that we support directly. We have 12 of them, fellows 25, but also CCRI project partners, so the 30 and more projects that we have, but also associated partner, like, as I said, the European Investment Bank, the OECD. And what I guess we almost managed to do is really having all these different actors, but working on the same thing, implementation of project, and on similar areas. So that was the added value, and hopefully was useful for all the members. Maybe also for you to know, to share a little bit the lessons learned. I try to really to summarize them in 4 lessons learned. Lessons learned number 1, I can bring you the example again from the bioeconomy. We really started from the beginning constantly to identify what were the needs of the pilot fellows projects inside the group. We created, for example, 3 sub areas, one on fertilizer, one on bio-based product, innovative products, and the other one on food systems. But we constantly keep an eye on the needs of the policymaker, that we call demand, and on the offer that in terms of knowledge and exchange we could offer. So at every workshop we say, okay, we focus today on, I don't know, example from project development assistant project or demonstration project. What do you want to do next time? That was crucial to, one, keep the members motivated, and second, be useful to provide knowledge and example to facilitate their basically project implementation based on their needs. And of course, this helped really to keep the interest as much as possible high. Nobody is paid to join this work, of course, so the motivation was crucial. And then what we also try, and I hope manage to do, is valorizing all the knowledge that I explained here that the CCRI is producing. Very often, I take the example of the bioeconomy, we use CCRI basically project related to bio-based economy if they had a concrete demonstrated value chain, process technology, or if they have information on the business model. That's what we try to share, having this project really transferring knowledge and experience to them. And it was very nice because basically we started almost together with some of the project, and as soon as a project was evolving, a demonstration project was evolving, we were in very close touch with them, and they were also able to transfer this knowledge to the members. So we really grow up as a group together, especially with the project. So new information from the project, new information for the members. And honestly, this is not something, you know better than me how it works often with Horizon project, but in general, a big project. It's not always easy to know what a project is doing, what a project is producing, if not at the end of the project. With this initiative and with the thematic working group, we really had the opportunity to extract fresh knowledge, fresh, example, and facilitated further cooperation between the project that we call normally innovators and a project of and a policymaker. For example, Castilla y León is one of the pilots that we have, or Maribor, etc. Interest in bioeconomy, and what we basically facilitate is really, which is basically the fourth point, right? So having a further cooperation. For example, Castilla y León identifies some of the technology, consider those demonstrated or considering the demonstration project for their biorefinery at the local level. So that's a way on how we can facilitate with this exchange of information to have a matching between the needs of the policymaker and the offer content-wise, knowledge-wise about the project. That's what we did, and I think is really important. Last point, let's say the secret weapon that we have in the CCRI is, and I'm going back, sorry, to the slide here, are these advisory schemes. So we use the thematic working group to identify not only the needs of the policymaker, but also those policymakers that are advanced enough to, let's say, benefit from further advisory facility. Take, for example, green assets, again, Castilla y León and Maribor was really supported, I think, effectively by this advisory scheme to, for example, analyze the technology available, analyze some business model, and try to see in their project that we support with a pilot, but with the thematic working groups member and the advisor in the middle, we really managed to transfer some knowledge from the project to the pilot and try to apply this knowledge through the advisory. So what we did, if you simplify it to be the triangle between the policymaker with the need, the knowledge from the project or from whatever, in the middle we plug in some cases, the advisor through Green Assist and now hopefully also with C3 to really make sure that this transfer is feasible, effective, and then really benefit the project that the project promoter is promoting. That's it to be what we did in a nutshell. And if you have any question, of course, Jan and myself, we are always here and of course always available. I hope it's clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Indeed, it was very clear and interesting to hear the work that you are doing in the thematic working group. Thanks again also to all the speakers today that give the presentation today. So we'll now open the floor for the questions. So raise your hand or use the chat. Do you have any question on the presentation that we have about? Thank you for the link, Andrea. Maybe there are no questions? I guess no. So if you have other questions, maybe in a second moment you can write to us, drop an email, and we would be happy to address those questions. So it was interesting to see all the work of the CCRI and then of our project, the CCRI Knowledge Hub, the new political guidelines of the European Commission, and then the action plan. Basically, it is interesting to see that we are different actors, that we are working towards like the same goal. We would like to advance the circularity in cities and regions. So it is nice to see this aspect. And thanks again for your time and your contribution. We look forward also to continue to this journey together. And I will now stop the recording. It will be available in the ICON's YouTube channel. And we will disseminate this workshop. And thanks again for your contribution and have a great day. So I will stop also the recording.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.